What's up, Wall fans, and what's up, Brewery fans? That's right, it's your favorite podcast host, the one and only Sean O'Rourke, coming at you with yet another Go Tell to the Brewery beer review. And for this edition, I have some really tasty brews, but I'm going to warn you right off the top, both these beers that we're looking at in this I guess it's an episode, this edition of Go Tell to the Brewery are very high alcohol content beers. These are not beers that you would want to be drinking a ton of. I know we've had some higher ones on before, but these are like surprisingly high that kind of sneak up on you. In fact, one of the two, I didn't even realize I started drinking it, and then I looked and I was like, I wonder how much this is run. Oh man, it was much more than I expected. So let's kick things off. Let's get right into it. I know we always say no glasses. We don't need the glasses. However, I've learned that with the stouts and the porters, the really, really dark ones, what we need is we do have to have the glasses on, simply so you can see just how dark that bad boy is. Excuse the glass, it's not actually from Black Hog Brewery. We'll have some of those on at some point here. But this particular stout that's looking all nice and dark, like a nice night sky in there, is from Founders Brewing out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it happens to be the Breakfast Stout. Breakfast Stout, that's right. You can drink this one for breakfast. You're going to get all your needs, all your breakfast needs. Probably not. But they call it that because it's an oatmeal, coffee, dark chocolate stout. Now, I tasted this one, and it's interesting and complex, and I kind of had to go and look up a little bit about it because I don't usually like to do that. I like to just go off taste. But for this one in particular, I was just so interested in the complexities of it that I went to look at kind of exactly what they put in it. So they straight up put a couple of rare, bitter dark chocolates into this brew, along with two types of coffee going along with the oatmeal oats that are going in there. So you get this really complex, really dark, and slightly bitter. It's a little more bitter than most stouts that I've had, honestly. Even compared to like Russian Imperial stouts, it's still a little more bitter. And I think it's that dark chocolate in there. It's not make your mouth pucker bitter, but it's bitter like having a really, really, really dark chocolate. So that's what I would say on this one. It's great if you love coffee stouts, if you love like chocolate, dark chocolate stouts, that's where this one would be hitting you. That's where you want to go with this one. If you're an oatmeal stout lover, it's definitely a little more bitter than your typical oatmeal stouts, but I'm loving it. And there's something about Founders Brewing, man. We'll eventually review their session IPA that they have, an all-day IPA that they have. But I found this one recently, had to get it on to Go Tell to the Brewery. And it's interesting because Founders is out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Founded by two guys back in 1997 out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they started out, they were going along for a while and hit some speed bumps. And what happened was they realized they weren't making beer that was very complex. It was balanced. It was kind of your typical beer, but it was the same beer that like the big guys are making, you know? And so what they did was they decided to kind of branch out a little bit. And that's where they end up with this really, really chocolatey stout. And the other one that I want to talk about, which is right here, is the Founders, excuse my language, Wall fans and Brewery fans, the Founders Dirty Bastard Scotch Style Ale. Now this is the one that snuck up on me. I opened this because I've had Scotch Style ales. I'm not a huge fan of them. I enjoy them. Not a huge fan. I'm a hoppy beer guy. That's kind of where I like to go. Or maybe, Eastern European, German, Czech beers. But not a huge fan. I enjoy them. I appreciate them. Not a huge fan. But I figured we'll have it on. It's a nice little interesting beer from there and from Founders. Again, out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I tasted it. It tastes good. It tastes like a typical Scotch ale. I would say it's got that very, very typical flavor. You get a little bit of this, for lack of a better word, scotchiness to it, But it's definitely an ale. The interesting thing on this one, and I know the Scotch style ales tend to be a little higher alcohol content. I usually expect them to be in like the 6s, 7s maybe. This one's sitting at about 8.5%. 8.5% alcohol content on this one. So if you're picking up some Founders, either the Breakfast Stout or the Dirty Bastard Scotch Style Ale, definitely be aware that you're looking at some higher alcohol contents on those. But we love Founders. It is interesting. I've been told year or two ago that they did sell off to Heineken, so they're still running things. But again, this is similar to like Golden Road that we've talked about in the past, where they've just got kind of some money behind them, but they're still trying to keep to their roots as far as craft brewing goes. And you can see that coming out definitely in their Breakfast Stout, because it is an interesting, complex stout. And the Scotch Ale, as much as I don't love them, I think if you like Scotch style ales or you love them, you're probably going to enjoy this one. Just be careful on that alcohol content. Both of these beers sitting at 8.5%. 5%. That's quite a bit of alcohol. Can't be drinking these all day. That's like more than double a lot of session IPAs or even those lagers and stuff you see out there. So be aware of that, wall fans and brewery fans. Outside of that, enjoy. Highly recommend Founders. I've had a few of their brews so far. Haven't found one I did not like at all. Some of them aren't my favorites, but I haven't found one that I did not like at all. So check them out. Founders Brewing out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. They also have a tap room in Detroit. So if you're in the Detroit area or the Grand Rapids area, head on over there, check them out. Tell them Sean O'Rourke sent you. They're not going to care. They're not. It's all good, though. It's all good. We're still going to promote their beers. They don't give me any money, but I'm going to enjoy them. Oh, so check them out. Founders Brewing, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And remember, wall fans, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, remember, wall fans, no matter what you're drinking, no matter who you're drinking with, no matter why you're drinking, and no matter where it is you're drinking, always drink with common sense.